Broke boys and peasants, I once again welcome you to my humble billionaire abode.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
A lot has changed over the years, so let's go ahead and throw up some old photos and videos of the Brokey Millionaire setup. I know it's pretty embarrassing for me to have run that, but I'm a billionaire now. The setup has changed a lot, and I still got big brands like Snap-off willing to help us out. So, big shout out to those guys. As far as my cars go, well, I used to have a Lamborghini like a Brokey, but I'm a big boy now. I got me a Bugatti. That's right. And as usual, I take very good care of the paint on my cars. I take it very seriously. It's embarrassing when people have dirty cars. I just can't stand it. Broke people, right? So let's go ahead and do a full fresh tour. I don't want to do an update simply because so much has changed. And I want to make it very clear. I am just like you guys. I have my roots, my common roots. Just like you 9-to-5 dweebs, I still run my Harbor Freight Pittsburgh tools, just so I have something in common with the brokies like y'all. So let's go ahead and step on outside into the cold light of day and talk about what you guys are looking at here. And that is what a poor person has. I'm middle class. If you really thought I was a billionaire, like, God can't help you. But some of you may have come from my last video, which, like I said, by the way, thank you for all those views. I haven't been on YouTube in many years, so hopefully I don't disappoint y'all. I mean, I did disappoint my girl last night, but that's a whole different story. So let's just start with that building. I needed somewhere to keep my R32 Skyline when I first got the car, and I didn't really have a lot of money. So for $1,700, I took a carport like this, an open frame carport. It only came with the roof, and then I bought siding, and then I built this door, this beautiful $1 million 12-foot wide swing door. And I did this all back in January 2019. It is now January 2025. So this has been here for 6 years. Then COVID came along and, well, you already know, everybody was just kind of at home, chilling out. I was unemployed, so I took the most of the time. I started working on cars a lot, and I wanted a space outside to hang out with the fam, the friends, and all that sort of stuff. So we set up a TV out here. We had a grill. It was great. So this 10 by 15 carport did work for that time, but nowadays it's just been relegated to storage. So got my grandpa's old Ford here that I got to fix up, and I have my 2003 R1. And then the meat and potatoes, which y'all really care about. This beautiful piece of work that I have here done on a tight budget. So the last time you guys were here, the whole setup, meaning my tools, the building, and my quick jack lifts that I have back there, all of it combined was $5,500. Well, a lot has changed, like a whole hell of a lot. It's been years, and spend $20 here, $20 there, $50 there, $100 there. Your stuff gets upgraded, right? So I'm just gonna do a full fresh tour. Like I said, the new budget for everything that you see here is about $25,000, and that includes the buildings, both of them, both this building out here and this one, and all the tools and all this sort of stuff you see in here. Now, I do have to admit that $25,000 for a backyard setup like mine is absolutely overkill. I don't need this, and I'm very fortunate that I'm able to have it, but this all basically paid for itself. I worked on people's cars in the afternoons and on the weekends, and then when I had money saved up and I saw a good sale, I would just hop on and buy things. And just like you guys, it starts with one thing and then it grows to this. I never thought I'd be at this level, but here we are. I do acknowledge that, hey, it would have been smarter for me to spend the money on the stock market or whatever, but a stock market doesn't look like this. So yeah, this is just my little form of therapy. Like the Icon wrenches, they were recently on sale for anything Icon actually was on sale for 40% off at Harbor Freight. So of course, you already know I had to hop on that sale. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop on to this tour, and we're gonna start it the same way we started the last tour, and that is over there. All right, so last time you guys were here, this wall was actually clear plastic. Now it is vinyl siding, and it looks a whole hell of a lot better and is a lot stronger. I've got the flags on the wall now compared to before, and alongside here on the floor, I used to keep my quick jacks, but I've now keeping them along the side there. You can see they're stood up on the side wall, just leaned up. I do have a 20-foot piece of wood here. Hey, now I'm saying I got my 20-foot piece of wood. I'm such a child. I'm sorry. I apologize. Don't leave. Come back. Here, beautiful car. This is my 1989 R32 Skyline. It's a sedan. It's got a wide body kit on it, and it's got a big single precision turbo kit on it. And I love this car. It's plastic dipped carbon red. I love it. This is wifey and bae. On the front door here, we have a 12-foot wide swing door. It was basically built, like I said, the same time as this building. The only maintenance that had to be done on this door was the little rubber wheels on it. As you guys can see, this has worn out over time. So I do have to switch them out every year and a half-ish. Other than that, I just threw up a little dry erase board on here so I could figure out what the hell it is I have to do. And as you guys see, a never-ending to-do list as usual. This propane tank, I have my heater on it. This is super useful in the wintertime, so I'm not freezing. And then my Milwaukee pack-out setup. This has been very useful for me. What I do is I'll just take my tools from here, whatever I need, I'll grab it, I'll throw it in the pack-out, and then I'll throw this in the back of my truck whenever I'm going on a road trip, just in case I were to have any breakdowns. It's nice to have all your tools with you. Now, let's start here. I'm going to work our way back. There's so much to go over. I'm just going to blitz through it as fast as I can. All right, so starting on top, we've got a little Wise security camera thing. Has been a boss. It's got AI built into it to tell you when a person is walking here. It works great. I've got a cheap $100 Insignia TV, and I've got a soundbar. And check out my mounting for the soundbar. Yeah, I know it's creative. Just zip ties and a little metal bracket that I found so that I can have a soundbar on this little cheapy TV. I've got a 50-foot retractable cord on this thing. It works absolutely fantastic. And then when you're drinking your premium beer, because, you know, I'm a billionaire and I'm bougie, you can go ahead and pop your bottles right there. So that is very nice. Let me go ahead and take a sip. Needed that. All right. Sunday's good. So we've got our little Milwaukee M12 leaf blower here, and then got my knee pads here because you already know mechanics, we love to get down on our knees. And I've got some more pads actually stuck in behind here. You know, I tried to maximize space as much as I can. Now, as you guys can see here, I have a bunch of toolboxes stacked on top of each other. These are Husky $130 boxes that I bought on sale for $99 each. And what I did was I cut the lid off of them. And when I cut the lid off, I was able to stack them on top of each other. I didn't want them sitting on the floor, and I wanted the height a little bit higher. So I figured, hey, I have nowhere to keep my jack. So I built this little lift out of some 2x4s I had laying around, and now I've got a little garage for me to keep my jack. So this has been useful for me to just keep stuff out of the way. I love the way this actually worked out. Now, starting with this at the top, oh boy, let's get into it. Before we get into the drawers, let's cover what's up top here first. We got some vanity plates, some HKS oil, and my wireless phone chargers. I usually put my wallet right here, and then I hang my keys up on my little S15 key rack, which is kind of cool. Got it from Drift HQ, if you're wondering. I have my TV remote right up here. I like to keep it generally clear so I can just put my stuff that I gotta grab and go right here. Then we've got measuring tools, and then we've got some headlamps. I don't know why people think I ride the D of the Black and Red Army, but that is just their opinion. Second drawer, we've got some magnetic pickup tools. I'm sure you guys have lost some tools in the middle of your engine bay, so having stuff like this, super useful. We got some telescoping mirrors, and then we've got some spark plug tools. This is nice, it's from Boosted Boys. And then we've got some spare blades and things of that sort. Then we've got gasket makers, glues, and things of that sort. I'm saying that sort a whole hell of a lot. And then we've got old radar detectors and basically things that you use to charge your phone. That's essentially that this drawer has become. We've got some interior trim removal tools and more interior trim removal tools and a bunch of spares from Harbor Freight. This is nice and handy. We've got clamps of every kind, and then this is specifically like those long reach ones for your radiator clamps. Double stick tape, more tape, and then clear tape. We've got hose clamps, more hose clamps, other types of hose clamps, O-rings, and things of that sort, vacuum caps. You guys can see this is just storage for, like, you know, automotive stuff. Stamp rings, fuel disconnect, and then grease tool. So as you can see, this is not really so much tools, it's more like supplementary stuff, but still useful. And then we're on to, I don't really know how the hell I'm going to cover this. So let's break it up into sections, and let's start with up here first, and then we're going to work our way down into each section. All right, so start off with the shelves themselves. I wanted to add storage up here as cheap as possible. So I went to Home Depot, I got some cheap shelving brackets, and then I had some wood laying around, just like the compressed kind of wood they use for like desks and stuff. I had this laying around, I cut it up, and I used it to create the shelves here, and it worked out perfectly. I'm really happy that now I'm able to keep all of this stuff nice and organized. Otherwise, it would have just been bunched up on that shelf back there. And as you can see, it's just a typical advanced auto / AutoZone layout. I've got your typical sprays and cleaners and greases, things of that sort. I've got some extra oil filters and whatnot. We're going to talk about this RC car when we get to the RC car stuff back here. And then I've got an amp right back here for my stereo. And I also have Wi-Fi. This little antenna here is actually my Wi-Fi, and I keep my spare paper towels back here. And that's pretty much it. Hope that satisfies you for up top. The one thing that's kind of out of place is this Temu air duster thing, which is kind of nice actually to have around. And this is the switch for all of the lights in here. So I know this might be shocking, but when you flip the switch, wow, all the lights turn off. This is the only one that stays on because it is a sensor light. And when you flip it back on, I know it's going to be shocking, but damn, let there be light. So that's it for up top. Let's hop into the main box. All right, so starting up top here, we've got a little magnetic cup holder with a spare funnel in it. We've got this beautiful set of DeWalt sunglasses. Oh, wait a second, Milwaukee. Well, who would have saw that coming? We've got a Harbor Freight magnetic rail here, which is mounted up to the shelving, and then it's all filled with 10 millimeters. That's right, these are all 10 mils. This is 1/4 inch, 3/4, and then 1/2 inch. And then back here we have the Tecton 1/2 inch torque wrench with it's just sitting in a case back here, just out of the way. Then we've got a paper towel holder here with a nice shelf on it. This is pretty nice because I could just rest my PV blaster up here. Got my fire gone. Might have had to use that a few too many times. And then of course we've got the pegboard here, which is on a 46-inch wide Husky toolbox. So this is this whole combo. I'll just throw screenshots of like what the actual kit I got was. But this is the 46 wide, 24 deep. And as you guys see, I got 2 of them. So we've got a bunch of drawers here. And I got it with the pegboard. This came in use. It's so dang nice. And it's held up just perfectly fine, holding up even all these heavier type of tools like an M18 from Milwaukee. I'm obviously a M12 guy. I think this is the best bang for buck. And I've really never had any serious issues with their tools. So I am and probably always will be a fan. Of course, I am willing to go to another team if they come out with stuff just as good. The lights also, excellent job. And this one is pretty cool because it wirelessly charges. That is just kind of sick. We've got some more space here where we keep some magnetic trays. Oops. And then we also have some magnetic bars on the side here. So if there's just something I don't want to deal with, I could just drop it on there. And I even have a magnetic bar here, and that actually helps the stability of this. So this box is magnetically mounted to this one, which helps with the stability. You could tell that's why this doesn't move around. Now, let's jump into, before we get into the first drawer, let's talk about this vise. It's just a vise. It's small. Got it on Amazon, mounted it on here, and it has come in handy far too many times. All right, I was watching back the edit and I realized the tour I did on this drawer was just a little bit too short, so I'm going to run it back. We've got metric on the left, we've got SAE on the right. I've got mostly Cobalt sockets and then mostly Tecton ratchets. I eventually am going to go to all Tecton sockets because I've lost some of the Cobalts and I've broken some of them. Are they good? Sort of. I mean, if you're a DIY backyard mechanic, you can get away with it, but eventually you're going to be breaking sockets. And of course, as time goes by, you're going to lose some. So I've already started converting. I've got the Tecton deep 1/2 inch 24 mil all the way down to 10 mil with no skips. And I'm planning to basically fill out this whole set with Tecton this summer. But right now I've got the Cobalts in deep and shallow, both for 1/2 inch, 3/4, 1/4 inch, and then we've got some wobbles and things of that sort, adapters here. And then we've got the ultra shallow from Aries on the 3/4 inch impacts, which goes so good in combo with that Milwaukee gun. And then we've got extensions. We've got our 1/4 inch extensions, 3/4 inch, and then the 1/2 inch. Over here, we've got our SAE sockets, which I don't think anybody really cares about. But, I've got some specialty stuff over here, like the spark plug sockets. And then these are like for wheels, which is kind of cool. It's got a plastic casing on it, so it doesn't scratch your wheels. And then we've got our ratchets. So we've got 1/4 inch. This is a little tiny power built one. This is a Cobalt one. And then this is the multi-swivel Tecton, which is nice. We got the Tecton flex head. So these are all 1/4 inch here. Blue Point, 1/4 inch. That's right. I got some Blue Point stuff. And then we've got the Tecton stubby 3/4 inch flex head. Flex head Tecton 3/4 inch. And then the multi-swivel Tecton. Also, we've got this snap-on indexing, which is pretty cool, 3/4 inch. And then we've got a Duralast 3/4 inch torque wrench. I got this like a decade ago, and I still have it. I think it's accurate. I don't know. I haven't checked. We've got a breaker bar in 3/4 inch, and then Tecton 1/2 inch flex head, and then the Tecton multi-swivel 1/2 inch wrench thingy. And then we've got Craftsman breaker bars, and then the cheap Pittsburgh, I think this is the $10 on sale torque wrench, which is great for just torquing on your wheels real quick. So that's basically it. We've got a little Craftsman palm ratchet there, and that's it for this drawer. I know it's a little messy in here. I want to get some sort of organizer thing to basically make these sit in a more organized way, but hey, whatever. I'll cross that bridge when I actually need that. And if you guys are noticing up here, I'm missing my batteries. The reason why is because I actually take them all inside when I'm done for the day because it's so cold now. Obviously cold is not good for your batteries. I hope that tour was good. Let's move on to the rest. Jumping on to the first drawer of pliers. It's shockingly a bunch of pliers. We've got some scissors and some picks and things of that sort. Then we have PPE. So this is where we keep our gloves, all different sorts. This is very useful in the wintertime like it is now. We keep some clean rags and some rubber gloves for like when we're doing stuff, oil changes and whatnot, and some clear glasses so rust is not falling in your eyes. I do live in the north after all. We do have an HKS towel, which is kind of cool. Just keeping it at the bottom there because I'm probably never going to use it. Then we have oil filter drawer and then some brake removal tools. Moving on to the next one is cutting. So this has got 2 grinders in it. So I've got one with a cutting blade and then one with a grinding blade. Got our Sawzall over here. And that's basically it. We keep blades, more blades. This is kind of cool. This is for cutting cardboard boxes specifically. And for someone like me that gets a lot of stuff, it is useful. On the right side, we have screwdrivers. So I've got a bunch of Husky ones, all different sizes, and then Pittsburgh, of course. We've got some Milwaukee bits in this case, and then we have a Wera kit. This is actually a gift from someone. And then got the little Precision Tecton kit, which is kind of cool. Then we've got the gear wrench, Torx bit, and Allen set, which is nice. And then more Allen keys and things of that sort. This is like the little icon version of that. How the heck do you open this? Okay, maybe I'm defeated. Aha! So, this is nice. It's not something you use every day, but damn is it useful in like those weird situations where you actually desperately need it. So, Allen stuff. Then we've got pry bars. Got the indexing pry bars from Gear Wrench. Rarely use them, but like I said, in those weird situations, man, are they useful. Some chisels for the air hammer. And then dead blow and stuff. Hammers. Crowbar. And then we've got drilling, I guess. Or these are all things you would put on a Dremel and or a drill. Got a bunch of different Milwaukee bit sets. And then I keep them on these little magnetic things I got from Harbor Freight. This is so nice. You just grab this, you throw it on your cart. So if I just need to go work on something, I could just throw it on there. As you guys can see, I already have one. And then, hey, whatever bit I need, I could just grab off of it. So it is very nice. This is like one of those cheap things that's just crazy useful. And as you guys see, I got quite a few of them. Got some speed out bits. Got my Dremel here. Some wire brushes, and then some drill things for my brushes. No, use your words. This is a drill brush attachment, right? I don't know, but I got quite a few of them. And then my Dremel attachments, and that's basically it for this box. Now let's move on to this one. All right, so starting up top here on the second bench, we've got a little magnetic tray here. I'm pretty sure I got that from Harbor Freight. And then I got some magnetic bars, which are just double stick to the front, just so that I have somewhere to quickly stick stuff like my knife. And then we've got some disinfectant wipes. Hey, look, I know when you're alone in your garage, you guys need this sometimes. So don't act like you're not like me. And of course, when you're left alone with your left hand and your right hand a little too much, I know you need some heavy-duty cleaners like that. And, well, the super lube, well, I'm not going to judge you for that one. So we've got an outlet right here, so we can just plug in stuff real quick. These wires that are here already are for the other chargers over here for the Milwaukee stuff, and this phone charger here. Let me get that pube out of the way real quick. Moving on, that was really not planned. So let's go ahead and talk about what's going on at the top here. So we got the Linus Tech screwdriver. That's right, I am a nerd, as you could tell by the rim inside of the PC, which is connected up here. We're going to get to that in a second because the way you turn it on is kind of cool. We've got a little 22-inch monitor here. We've got mouse and keyboard for it. And then we have some RC stuff. So I kind of got into Drift RC. I kind of got into the HPI RC. This one does like 65 or 70. This drift one, although it does work, it needs to be completed. I'm not really into this stuff as much as I thought I would be, but I do have like the accessories and all that stuff right here. And I do have one of the little Cobalt's little tiny toolboxes here to house all that stuff. And these are the controllers for it. We've got some magnetic trays along here, and I've got another magnetic bar here for me to put whatever needs to just kind of be out of the way real quick. This is the charger for the batteries for the RC, and that's pretty much it. Oh, wait a second. Before I open up this top drawer, it's got a party trick. We need to turn all these lights off first. All right, let's give her a go again. That's right. She is so pretty. All right, I'm going to let you guys get your socks out, do what you got to do. Let me know when you're done. All right, you good? Let's, after you've cleaned up yourself, you can unpause the video and come back to reality. God damn, this drawer is so pretty. Nothing fancy or expensive in here. We've got the Icon crow's feet over here. Got some Cobalt standard wrenches. We've got the gear wrench stubby ratcheting. And of course, everything is pretty much in metric on this side, most of this. We've got the gear wrench brake line flex head, super useful. And then we've got the Astro extended, I don't really know what pattern this is called, but this is for rounded off bolts. And I don't really use this often, but when you need this, dear God, is it so useful, especially up here where you get rusty and rounded off bolts a lot. Got the ratcheting Pittsburghs. Then we've got the ratcheting flex head gear wrench. Then we've got the gear wrench and flex head stubby. This is an SAE. We've got these little tiny Cobalt metrics, which you pretty much never use, but it is just kind of nice to have here just to help fill the drawer out a little bit, if I'm being honest. And then we have some more standard Cobalts over here. We do have the Icon S wrenches here. They look brand new, like they've never been used. And that's crazy because I've never used them. So I'm actually surprised that they look like they've never been used. They're brand spanking new, okay? Don't blame me. I've literally never had a chance to use them yet. So one day soon. And then we've got some adjustable wrenches back here. Got this AN wrench. Got the BC coilover wrenches for your coilovers. And then got this giant pipe wrench and this little oxygen sensor wrench. And if I haven't explained it already, all of the lights in here are controlled by this little battery pack, which has a little motion activated sensor thingy on it. I have to charge it up though, so sometimes it doesn't work, so I have to charge it up just now to show you guys that. Moving on to the second drawer, we've got crimps and strippers, electrical tape, soldering iron. Like I said, this box is mostly electrical. We've got spare wires in the second drawer or third drawer. I guess technically it's the third from the top. And then we have diagnostic tools. I don't know, like this is a mishmash. So we've got like diagnostic scanners, like OBD2 scanners. But then we also have battery testers in here and electrical circuit testers and all that sort of stuff, voltmeters and whatnot. I got a timing light, temp gauge, and then back here, this is actually a borescope from Klein Tools that you plug into your phone. Kind of works pretty cool. All right, so for the bottom drawer here, we've got one of those collapsible seats. This is pretty nice to have in here. And then we've got a multimeter, apparently. This is a funny looking multimeter. But this is just one of those pulley puller things. And then this is for struts. This is basically all stuff for pulling stuff, you know, or holding things in place. Like if you need to hold your crank in place when you're doing like a timing belt or whatever, this is all tools related to that. This is for a stud when you're doing the wheel studs and whatnot. We've got a compression tester here, and then
stud. Whose contact info are you looking for?
No, Siri, go away. Leave me alone.
No problem. I won't.
What? Bitch? Okay. Anyways, we got a fuel injection pressure tester here, and then we've got a like I said, a engine compression tester. And then this is stuff to like hold your cams in place. Well, like I said, when you're doing timing related stuff, crank related stuff and whatnot. Let's close that up. Now let's move on to the next side. We've got more electrical. So we've got fuses, we've got relay testers, more relays. This is from, I forgot where I got this from, but this is pretty cool. It's retractable test leads. So nice to just throw in your bag when you got to just quickly jump stuff off and test things out. Fuses and soldering and more soldering stuff, fuse tester and whatnot. Then we've got connectors and heat shrink and more types of connectors. Obviously, it's connectors. We've got zip ties, all different shapes and sizes. We got everything down from the little 5-inch ones all the way up to the massive. How large are these? I can't even see. It's 175 pounds. Damn. Okay, that's kind of impressive. But these are 36.5 inches long. So, and then these are the little snips for it. Let's move on to the bottom drawer. This is all lights stuff. So I've got a spare of HID lights, LED lights, just normal old school halogen bulbs, HID kits, just all sorts of extra random light stuff. I've just got a whole bunch of it in here. And that's pretty much it for the second box. Now let's move on to the beauty bag here. All right, so the tour for this last box starts off in a very different, special way. It starts off with this key. I'm going to take this key, we're going to put it into the toolbox here, and we're going to go ahead and twist it. And that's right, it turns on the computer. I'm not playing. You see it turns it on, and now we're going to hit F1 to boot that sucker up. That's right, this is a momentary switch, and then it's just plugged straight into the computer. I'm a bit of a nerd. You might be able to tell. So, yeah, that's right. I kind of wanted to always have a RIM PC in my garage, and I just found some crappy PC parts that nobody would literally pay anything for. I got this for free. This entire project is completely free. This is a random RIM from one of my friend's dads. He gave it to me. I painted it gray with some Plasti Dip that I also got from one of my friends that he just left at my house. As you guys can tell, I just have a bunch of random paint stuff. And then I took this old turbo. This is the old turbo from my Skyline. It now has a big precision turbo. So this was free also. And then this was a gift. So that's it. This setup back here is kind of cool. And now let's get into the tour of the actual toolbox itself. All right, so top drawer, we've just got some magazines. This is some Summit Racing stuff, some Harbor Freight magazines, and I have a bunch of sticker packs in here from like whatever, K&N stickers and all that, some air fresheners. This one's actually kind of cool. It's an R34 air freshener. Then we've got clamps, C-clamps. Rarely use these, but once in a while, they do come in handy. Got my air tools, and yes, I do have an air compressor. You might not have noticed, but it's tucked right back there. So we're going to get into that when we get back there. But this is why I have air tools. So we've got just all different sorts. We've got an air drill. We've got an air saw. Air chuck, put air in your tires and whatnot. And then we've got our heat drawer. So we've got some propane bottles and then a little igniter on here. And then we've got 2 heat guns and then some lighters. Like I said, this is a heat-related drawer. Next up is screws and nuts and bolts. Yep, just organized. And then this is all related to riv nuts and whatnot. So these are all riv nuts stuff. And I got really into this mainly because that's how I mounted the body kit, the wide body kit to my car. So I have a bunch of this stuff here. And then we've got the random nut and bolt drawer, which I don't really want to look at too much, but I know we all have one, so hey, don't judge me. And then we've got a random drawer. This is just random stuff. So I don't really know what the hell I'm doing with this stuff yet. But as you guys see, I have a couple more magnetic bars that I can put in places. And then we've got more air-related stuff. So we've got our paint guns, because I'll paint stuff every now and then. And then that's basically it. It's just all paint-related, paint mask, and fittings for the air tank. And then that's basically it for this box. So let's move on to this mobile cart, and then we're going to get on to the rest, which you see back here, and then we're going to close up. There are 3 things I forgot to mention. Number 1 is this 50-foot retractable hose reel from Husky. It's always connected to the air tank, and the line is right here, magnetically held on by this hook. And I have my air tool drawer conveniently at the right height. Pick an air tool, hook it up to the hose, and then just reel it out. It's retractable, and it's come in handy a lot. And if I need to get all the way out to the front of the house, as you guys saw, I have a 100-foot hose here that I could always attach to this for some extra length. Number 2 is my creeper. Yes, I like to creep. I keep it hidden underneath the main toolbox. And then the third thing is my Husky lights. I did not mention the Husky lights because I don't want you guys to think I'm poor, but I'm not only a Milwaukee light snob, I like my Husky stuff too. They are a good value. I usually keep them up on the ceiling because, like I said, don't want people to think I'm poor using Husky stuff. Milwaukee all day, right? All right, so getting onto the mobile cart. I pretty much never close this lid just because I have so much stuff on it. But I've got a magnetic paper towel holder here from Harbor Freight, of course. I've got an outlet here, which I'll just plug my extension into so that I could have power wherever I am when I take it outside. And then I keep a jump pack on it. And this jump pack also, just in case I got to jump something off whenever I'm working on the car. And just a couple sprays, basic stuff. Some parts trays and whatnot. Another magnetic bar here. And I basically skimped on this. I don't really have too many tools in here. As you guys see, it's just basically spares, whatever I have laying around. Random ratchets and whatever, picks and pliers, gloves. And then this is just a random drawer, which I'm supposed to actually keep empty so that... What the f*** is on my roof? Did you guys hear that? Is there like a raccoon or something up there? Yo, raccoon, leave me alone. All right, now that I've asserted my dominance, let's get back into this. So this I'm supposed to keep empty, but it's just random stuff. It has some tint and some wrap and whatever in here. Whatever. And then this is my detailing drawer. I know it's dirty, but I do actually wash my car. And I have a bunch of detailing stuff back there. So usually when I'm detailing, I'll pull this out so that I could just take all my detailing stuff and just have it on the top of here. And then I just have all my stuff nice and clean, ready to go, so I can keep my car nice and clean. I also do my oil changes with this car when I'm working outside. So I keep a couple pans on here. This is a low profile one. And then I've got just a big old normal one. But this low profile one I specifically got for the Skyline. So it could just slide underneath. And I don't really have to jack the car crazy up to actually do an oil change. It's just fast and easy. And then that's basically it for the mobile cart. So now let's get into what's going on back here. Now to just quickly go over what I have on the rear here. Let's pull this out of the way. So you guys will see, I just have basically parts storage. So this is all just parts for cars. Parts. I've got a cheap welder here. I've got a diesel heater here. And like I said, I have a 100, no, this is not 100. This is a 29-gallon air tank from Harbor Freight just tucked in right behind here. It's nice and out of the way. And I've got a nice comfortable seat just sitting back here too. We've got paint up top, just a bunch of random cans of paint. Like the whole shelf is filled with paint. And then we've just got more fluids for cars, you know, oil and transmission fluids and all that. Well, this is actually for the power steering fluid for the Skyline, but whatever. And then we've got more tools. So we've got like a slide hammer here. We've got like a radiator pressure testing kit and all that sort of stuff. And then we've got more fluids down here, transmission fluids and whatnot. And then we've got some kitty litter for whenever you make a spill. I know you guys have done that. We've got a little vacuum from Harbor Freight. And then this is the pump and all that stuff for my quick jacks, which is right over there. So back over here, we have, like I said, my speakers. This is all electrical stuff in here just for like big sound systems and whatnot. This is all part storage for my R32 Skyline, just literally specific R32 parts, detailing, quote unquote, not that I do it very often, and then just more random parts. And I do have my electric scooter just kind of tucked back here temporarily. My bad, guys, I completely forgot to do the pack out tour. So here it is. As you can see, it's nice and empty. This is just the way it should be. All the tools are back in the main boxes like it should be, but I'm going to throw in a clip from just a few weeks ago when I was down in Florida on a little road trip of what the setup looks like. And then after that is going to be a full financial breakdown of everything you see here. Believe it or not, I actually keep track of how much I spend on the tools, batteries, you know, paper towels, sprays, everything. I try to stick to a quote-unquote budget. I know it's obviously gotten out of hand, but I do try to stick to some sort of budget. And if you want to cure my depression for the very low price of a like and a subscribe, please go ahead and do so. And it will inspire me to finally post a video on how I built wifey here, my R32 Skyline. I have everything documented. It's just a lot to get through. So motivate me, cure my depression, like, subscribe, and I guess maybe I'll see y'all in the next one if you stick around. Deuces. I know y'all don't know or care about tools, but you know, just up top, you got lights, you know, impact gun, a bunch of sockets, more sockets, and then ratchets and stuff. Then I got more ratchets, and then underneath here, you lift this up, and then there's extensions in that stored. You know, so got all the wrenches you could need in different sizes, flex heads and everything, jump starters, diagnostic tools, more lights, electrical tools, tape, soldering iron, that sort of stuff. All different types of pliers that you could possibly need, channel locks, vice grips, other types of different pliers and zip ties, and then power tools. This entire thing is mobile, and check this out, it all breaks apart. So that comes off like that, this comes off of this, and this comes off of the wheelbase, so it could break down and it goes into my car real easy.